Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome. This is the Swinging Bull, joined by Amy, AmmaJamma, and today we're going to be going over our top Democratic stock picks if the Democrats win the midterm elections coming up. Amy, what do you got for us?
Thanks, Ben. Well, first of all, I'm my first one I've got here is Cleveland Cliffs. This is steel manufacturer, rolled steel. A couple things about Cleveland Cliffs and why I like it for like a Democratic based stock is we've got a $1 trillion infrastructure bill, and in that bill we have guesstimations of up to $100 billion designated for infrastructure, i.e., bridges, road construction, those type of things. And in Cleveland Cliffs over the last year and a half became the largest U.S. based steel manufacturer. So it's larger than U.S. Steel, which is kind of a little more well known. Cleveland Cliffs bought out ArcelorMittal here in Northwest Indiana last year, making them the largest steel manufacturer. So I think that a lot of money is going to be pushed into infrastructure in general, and in Cleveland Cliffs would be one of the front runners if for a U.S. company for this. Now, as far as the chart goes, as you could see here, first couple of things we noticed right away, we've got this downtrend, and we've been hitting our head on this downtrend for quite a while, and actually did very recently, just in the last few days. So what we're looking for is two scenarios here. First, we would come down, my line got moved here, we would come down and test this lower range here, somewhere between, say, 1280 and 1350. So if we come down and test this range, that would be an ideal entry for me. Something in like this, I would like to see us come down like this, test the range, and then pop up over that trend line that we've been held up at this whole time. So one thing you have to be careful of when we have this hard of a rejection going on, we want to make sure we break over this trend line too. So first step would be coming down, watching for that double bottom, taking the entry there. Or if we do get some bullish movement here sooner, breaking up over this 1560 area. So not only breaking over this trend line, this downtrend here you could see, but breaking over this massive area we've been hitting our head for the last month or so. So I like I like an entry over, say, 1560, 1570, and price targets, 1850, 1950, and then all the way up to $23. This is really one I think has some nice long-term goal profitability here, and it's a good company too. It's a huge company. So that's my first pick.
Very nice.
Next pick I have is ChargePoint. ChargePoint is an EV company. It's one of the more well-known EV companies, actually. I play this chart a whole lot, so this line kind of doesn't make sense there. We're going to delete that one. But as you can see here, one thing we're looking at ChargePoint, a little bit about the company before I go over the chart is there's $5 billion being entered into NEVI, which is our National Electric Vehicle Infrastructure. And what that means is on highways, on our major interstate systems, having these charging stations throughout. That automatically is something that, with our current president saying he wants to be fully electric vehicles by 2020, 2030, 2035, charging that's the other feed off that. The EV companies I kind of stayed away from because a lot of them are unproven, but charging is kind of like something that has to go hand in hand with it. And it's much cheaper company than going into Tesla, something like that. So we chose ChargePoint for that. And also ChargePoint has recently upgraded their charging system into 50 kW DC fast chargers. So they're getting closer to competing with EVgo, which is kind of known as the cream of the crop with speed of charging. So that's a couple of things.
And we also know that the Democrats are, they're definitely pushing hard for these electric vehicles and the changes that they want to happen. And I love this pick for Democratic win at the midterms.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I do too. And as you can see here, we've got this descending wedge. So I want to see us break out of this wedge before I'm touching it. Historically in the stock market, we have a descending wedge like this. It does break bullish. But you always want to wait for the retest. So what I expect happening is we're going to wait for a break out of this wedge here, and then it will have an impulse move out, come back and retest, and then we'll get the strong move. That's where we take the entry right there. We don't want to take it before that because you could kind of get trapped and it could peek right back into the wedge. So ideally for this, I would want entry over $14 on a retest. That's what I'm looking for on charge point. And then we have price targets of $16, $19.90, and then $25. I mean, realistically, this could double up and be 100% in a couple years, especially in like a Democratic-based continuation market.
Yeah, lots of upside on that one. I'm really liking the chart there.
Absolutely. And finally, I have an OTC, CURLF, Curaleaf Holdings. Now, Curaleaf Holdings is a pot stock, and I didn't pick a company for this that's on our U.S. stock exchange because it's illegal for companies that actually sell those goods in the U.S. to list on the U.S. stock market without it being federally legalized. You can get these companies like Tilray, where they're Canadian based, they're this based, they're that based, which kind of defeats the purpose because the thing about Curaleaf is it is the largest company within the United States. And is the highest profit potential profit potential of the top 10 U.S. based pot stocks I've looked at. And we know that, President Biden recently had spoke about pardoning all marijuana based nonviolent offenders and to like drop those charges with them, which is absolutely huge in itself. And also, President Biden has also said that, he wants to review how marijuana is classified as a controlled substance. We have more and more states legalizing marijuana. It's an entire, and really, if and it's a big if it federally does get legalized and these companies come onto the exchange, you're looking at absolutely massive moves. I'm talking hundreds of percent. And that is a huge if. We know that we might never see actual legalization, but we also do know that when you get these kind of news, even the catalyst, like look at this candle. This was the day President Biden made that comment right here. You got a 35% pop that day. So just a little comment, you get these nice, strong pushes. What I'm looking for this is I want to see, because we are like, we were testing like all-time lows before that. So I want to see us come back down and test that 450 if that happens. Then take that entry and we could, and be aware that at the 655 level, we could face some rejection there. Your safer entry is going to be above 665, 670. And I mean, literally sky's the limit on this. We've got the sell-off that this has had is substantial. We've got, 200 to 250% upside on this.
Yeah, I see that. Lots of great upside there. And just to recap, Amy, the three ticker symbols for your three picks for the viewers here.
Yes. Cleveland Cliffs, CLF, Steel Company, ChargePoint Holdings, CHPT, which is EV charging, and CURLF, Curaleaf Holdings, which is a US-based pot stock company. And make sure you guys check out we've got a Republican-based 3 picks video as well. If you haven't watched that, make sure you go check that out. And we have Mr. Swinging Bull himself giving us some picks for that side of the market.
Fantastic. Well, those are our 3 picks. If the Democrats win the midterms, I really hope everyone enjoyed this video. And until next time, I hope everyone has a great night.
Bye.